ball bounces. We'd like to understand how the ball bounces. A rubber ball has been dropped and is bouncing off the floor. Draw a motion diagram of the ball during the brief time interval that it is in contact with the floor. Show 4 or 5 frames as the ball compresses, then 4 or 5 frames as it expands. What is the direction of the acceleration during each of these parts of the motion? Okay, so on the left, I have the ball compressing. You can see right before the ball starts compressing, so right before / the very instant it hits the floor, the acceleration is pointed downwards from gravity, the acceleration that gravity is providing for the ball. And then as the ball begins expanding, the acceleration then becomes positive because the ball is rapidly slowing down. So that means that the acceleration needs to be pointing in the opposite direction of what it was beforehand. And so yeah, that's upward acceleration continues up until when the ball becomes expanding again, and it keeps going, and then right as the ball leaves the ground once again is when that acceleration is going to become negative again due to gravity. So yeah, during the beginning and the final frames, acceleration is negative, or not negative, but it's downwards. Direction is downwards. And then in all of the in-between periods, in this time that it's in contact with the floor, acceleration is upwards. Part B, draw a picture of the ball in contact with the floor and identify all forces acting on the ball. So this is my picture, and the only forces that are going to be acting on this ball are normal force and gravitational force. Normal force being the force that the surface exerts on the ball, and gravitational force being just the product of gravity. C. Draw a free body diagram of the ball during its contact with the ground. Is there a net force acting on the ball? If so, in which direction? So yeah, this is the free body diagram, which shows gravitational force downwards and normal force upwards. And there is a net force acting on the ball during this contact the ball has with the ground, and that net force is going to be upwards, which means that the surface is exerting more force on the ball than gravity. D. Write a paragraph in which you describe what you learned from parts A to C and in which you answer the question, how does a ball bounce? So I worded this paragraph a little confusingly, but let me go through it. A ball bounces due to the combination of gravitational and normal force. As the ball is in free fall, both the acceleration and the velocity is directed downwards, meaning the ball is speeding up. And that also means there the force is going to be directed downwards. The normal force exerts more force upwards than the gravitational force does downward when the ball makes contact with the ground, which causes acceleration to be upwards. As force is going to be in the same direction of the acceleration, it is also going to be pointed upwards. In the period that the ball is compressing and expanding, in the period that the ball is compressing, the velocity is going to still be downwards, but as the ball expands, the velocity is going to be upwards, which is going to provide that velocity upwards as the ball leaves the ground, where it will still go upwards for a bit even though the acceleration has turned back to being downwards. As soon as the ball is no longer in contact with the floor, force and acceleration are going to be pointed down again. So yeah, that is how a ball bounces. Thanks for listening.